Ladies and gentlemen, what the world has been waiting for, what the world needs now, the one, the only, the amazing original Johnny Blaze, often imitated but never duplicated. There's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the original Johnny Blaze Show. It's great to be here as I blaze right in with my karate kick. Let's have a blazing hot fun time, ladies and gentlemen. Well, folks, remember, another year is upon us. Many people tell me I should make a resolution to give up my bad habits. But I always say to them, hey, nobody likes a quitter. Once again, thousands of people will gather in Times Square this New Year's Eve so they can watch a ball drop. Big deal. The Steelers have been dropping dozens of balls all month long. Don't be upset if you don't have a date for New Year's Eve. Just remember, Valentine's Day is just right around the corner, and you'll probably be alone on that night, too. This New Year's, instead of trying to lose weight again, I'm going to help all my friends get fatter, so I'll look skinnier sitting next to them. Now, last New Year's, my girlfriend made a resolution to lose weight, and she lost over 30 pounds by jumping to conclusions, running her mouth off, and throwing heavy weights at my head. My ex still misses me, but her aim is getting much better. I have only one resolution this New Year's, and I realize the difference between my wants and needs. May I have all I need and want all I have. Happy New Year. 2021 is upon us. May your neighbors respect you, troubles neglect you, angels protect you, and heaven accept you. We have a blazing hot fun show, ladies and gentlemen, with a special guest. She's a multi-talented actress, producer, director, writer, and even does some stand-up comedy. Please give a big warm welcome to the one and only Ellen Gerstein. Ellen.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Ellen. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
Well, good, thanks. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Hope you had a great holiday there. Hope you enjoyed your celebration there.
I did.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Yes, Ellen. Yes, it's really great to see you here. And I was wondering, tell me about your background, how you got started, and where you're from, and what led you up to getting into entertainment, Ellen.
Well, I was born in the Bronx. I thought everybody was born in the Bronx. And then my parents moved to Miami because my mother's family had moved to Miami. So I was raised in Miami. Oh. And I was a Florida State champion for many years for 5-gated show writing and reserve champion for Western Pleasure. So from age 8 to 17, that's mostly what I did, was ride and show horses. I had horses. I had a trailer. I hauled horses. So I would say horses was my life from that age. Then I had to go to college. Right. So I wanted to go to one that wasn't expensive. So I went to the University of Georgia. Oh. And I had never been to the South before. And it was a very interesting time. And at that time, I would see the KKK march a lot. And then I started Georgia Students for Human Rights. It was like I say, it was a very interesting time. People were very tradition directed. It was a beautiful place, Georgia, but it was different being in the South. But I graduated with a degree in sociology. Oh. So I went home for a month to be with my parents. Yeah. And then I moved to New York because I knew I would always go to New York. And I was a social worker for the welfare department for 6 years. And then I was in therapy, as everyone was in therapy at that time. So, and I remember telling my therapist I wanted to be an entertainer. And he said, I was about 29. And he said, well, you don't want to be 89 and still say, I wish I had done that. So you better do it now. So then I went over to the Lee Strasberg Institute and I auditioned for his class. And I studied for 5 years with him. And I was a waitress and barmaid like every other actor. but I was terrible at it. Thank God I had a good personality because I had no idea what I was doing. I was like who gets the dark drink with the cubes? What is this? So anyway, I did that. And then I studied acting with Lee Strasberg for 5 years. And I studied script analysis with Stella Adler. And I also did stand-up comedy. And then when I was, how old was I? About 40, 41. I went to graduate school at Antioch for psychology. And I also was a therapist. So I felt and I had an antique shop because I love old things.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes. So it was very interesting right on Ventura Boulevard. I loved it. But then I was doing acting. I was doing a play at the Mark Taper Theater. I was doing comedy. I was teaching acting, and I had an antique store. And I thought, oh my God, I need to talk to myself since I'm a therapist, because I'm having a breakdown doing all this stuff. I mean, it was too much. So I decided to sell the store and stop being a therapist, even though I loved it, but I just can't do everything. And so I just focused on writing, acting, directing, producing, and, that type of thing. And teaching and coaching. I've always taught. I started teaching and coaching because the comics wanted to be actors. And so I was teaching them. So I still teach and coach. I do love it. And write and make film. I made a couple of international award-winning films, and I'm writing now. So that soon I'll be doing another film.
It sounds like you're very talented, very versatile. You've won some awards too. I've noticed. I did some research on you. Looks like you did several films, short films, and I think one of them you won 30 awards for 30 different awards. Your very first.
I did two short films. I did one called Waiting for Ronald, and I got to do that on film on 35, which I thought was great. And then, do you remember the actor Bruno Kirby many years ago? Bruno Kirby. He was in City Slickers and Godfather. Anyway, he was a tremendous talent. He was in it. And I told the story of a man who's about approximately 36 who leaves the institution for disabled people with disabilities. He leaves the institution. He had spent all his life there to start a new life, to meet his buddy that used to be in the institution, and they have jobs and an apartment. And so I had a blended cast, but I had a lot of people with disabilities and taught them to act, and it won a lot of awards. It's a beautiful film. And then I did a film called Come Away With Me, and that was about a woman who goes back to her high school reunion after 50 years to try to rekindle the romance with the love of her life, who she left years ago. But he's in a VA hospital from Vietnam, and he doesn't remember her, and she does everything to get him to remember. They dance. I wrote the song for the film and do all this stuff. And then at the end, she realizes that she better go home. And then as she walks down the hill and out, he remembers her, but it's too late. So
interesting. There was another one too. I think you had something with Ronald, Waiting for Ronald, I think was another.
Yeah, that was the first one with the fellow with disabilities.
Right.
And I'm still friends with everybody there.
Wow.
So it was a very exciting time. I love film. I love TV too. But I wrote a pilot now, but I'm writing a feature, and I'm on my second draft. I can't wait to refine it even more and then get it going and do it. I just love it.
What is there about acting? It sounds like acting is acting your favorite of all the entertainment that you do?
Yes, I think acting's my favorite. Directing is my favorite also. And it's very hard for me to write. I love it once I'm writing, but it's like all of a sudden I start to clean the house or walk the dog or do all this stuff. I can't sit down to write. And then finally, when I finally sit down to write, then I'm in it and I love it. But it's the getting in that's difficult.
I see. You just got to get started to get motivated. Before you know it, everything instead of falling out of place, it falls into place. It sounds
Right,
like.
exactly. Once I can't ignore it one more time, then I'm fine.
Right. Well, that's great. Well, what do you think about as far as performance anxiety? How do you get the confidence up as far as your performance to be able to do, to do an excellent, successful role, whatever you're doing, whether it be acting?
The acting, I'll take the acting. Once you're going to do a part, you are that character. And if you get nervous at any time, you have to give it to the character, and the character will find what to do. And so if you yourself, if you try to say, Ellen, you're not nervous, but you are, that's not going to work because you're lying to yourself and you know it, and
Right.
you're still nervous. But if you give it to the character, somehow the character, no matter what the situation is, can deal with it. And if you really, really marry that character and become that, it's a very hard, once you're in it, you're in it. That's it. So you can't really worry about performance. You just have to do the best this character can do. What does that character want? You do the whole background and everything, and then you're just so married in the character and what they wear and the music they love and how they wear their hair and do they have jewelry and just everything.
That's fantastic. That really is.
And so yeah, so once you're that character, it's a joy. Because the character really takes over. The same thing with writing. Once you start writing and you really know your characters, they sort of come alive, and you all of a sudden, this one wants to do this, or this one wouldn't react that way. It has to ring true for each character, and that's very exciting.
That's great. So you've got to see yourself do it. It's like a positive image seminar speaker. My father used to be a fan of, and I think he's great too. Was Bob Proctor. He said, if you can't see yourself doing it, you'll never do it.
Yeah. You
And with
can't stand in your own way is the
Right.
point, which I think is something to do with life entirely. Don't stand in your way of living your life fully. The same thing with living as a character fully. Don't get in your own head and am I going to be good, or how am I going to do this, or will they like me? All that just is, get that out. So, and you don't stand in your way. And just go forward with it. And even if you get depressed or you get scared, let it out. It's okay. When I did stand up, I started when I was about about 40, 41. And I used to wear these little dresses and boots and stuff. And when I would get on stage, my dress would shake because my legs would be shaking from
Oh,
the nerves. So I had to make a joke of it, and I made up some really great jokes, and it dissipated away. But you can't pretend you're not, you know? So you just have to let it out. It's,
so
you
what you're
know,
saying is you're not taking it too serious. You're making it fun. You're not taking it, well, I have to do this. You're having such a great time with it that you're making light of it. And by making light of it, then you're able to
yeah.
apparently
And
perform.
be honest with it, and it won't hold you back. But
Right.
don't stand in your way. Don't get in your head. Don't judge yourself. Don't do that. That really holds you back, all that stuff.
Right. Well, I know. When I was on my last time on television on Jimmy Kimmel's show on his featured star talent showcase, if I forgot something, I had to you just act like nothing happens. You just go
Yeah,
right on with it. That's what I
just
did.
go on.
Move right on. Exactly. Oh yeah. So that was very fun too and exciting. All the different things that I have done. But anyway, what are some of your favorite roles? Getting back to your favorite roles as far as movies and television. What were some of the favorite roles and people that you work with, directors, and also the shows that you have worked with?
Um, I think it was last year I did the morning show, and Mimi Leader was the director, and she's fabulous. She's incredible director, and just loves actors. It's a pleasure. Why that's so wonderful is because when a director will trust you and let you do what you do, and then if they don't like it, of course, they'll tell you and tell you what, don't do this, whatever. But if they just let you go with it. I did It's Wonderful, and Mimi's like that. She's I think one of the best, if not the best directors I worked with. I worked on a series called Hotel de Lune, and it was a great series. It was so good, and I can't think of the director's name. I'm just blanking, and I love her so much, and she's won awards, and she's so good. And I don't know why I can't think of her name, but that happens sometimes. Oh. And she would just let you do what you do and trust you. And, of course, if it doesn't work, she's right there with what to do and to suggest and this and that. But that was one of the best ever. And then I worked on another series called The Whole Truth. And we had different directors come in. And I really didn't get to know the directors real well because they just would let me do what I do. And that's so terrific. You feel so good. And the different characters, I've just loved every character. And, you've got to find a way to love your character and to think well of your character. You can't condescend to your character, which a lot of people do. Oh, he's just a this, or the character. No, you've got to find what it is in that character that you can love or be, and not judge it and not be condescending. That's a trap, that some people condescend to their characters. That's a trap, and that can't happen. And I like it when the director, Mark Rydell, wonderful, just a wonderful director. And many years ago, and I mean many years ago, and we're not going to give that many a number, but it's a long time ago, with Scorsese. And of course, he was wonderful. So I've had the opportunity to work with wonderful, wonderful directors, and I feel really blessed for that. And that once they hire you, they should respect you and give you a chance to do what you do. And I've had wonderful times with that, just wonderful times.
Fantastic. Yeah. Or whatever. It looks like you've worked with quite a few people. Even you were on Cheers, apparently. Ted Danson, somebody you worked with, and also yes. Seinfeld. You must.
Yes, I was Seinfeld's aunt, and in Cheers I was Carla's reform school buddy, and Taxi, I was a barmaid, and but those are such wonderful shows. Oh my God.
That's right. Yeah, Taxi.
Yeah, had so much fun.
Did you meet Andy Kaufman?
Pardon me?
Did you ever meet Andy Kaufman?
No.
Andy Kaufman.
I would have loved to. He was brilliant. I know.
Now there was another actress that you met. There was Lainey Kazan you worked with apparently.
Yes, I love Lainey. I love her. In fact, we took a class together with Lee Strasberg, and we did a scene together in like 1805 or a long time ago. And I love Lainey. She's the best. She's great. I've worked with lovely, wonderful people.
Lainey Kazan apparently was interviewed by, I don't know if he's no longer alive, but he used to do a public access show with the stars in Hollywood. His name was Skippy Low. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yes, of course. And he used to produce comedy shows. I did a lot of his shows.
Really? It's a small world. I knew Skippy. I used to go to a place called Cafe Aromas in Beverly Hills. I don't know if you ever heard of that restaurant.
Yes, of course.
And he was the host, the MC over there. And he had a talent show. And somebody would back people up on the piano. If they want to bring in their own music, they can bring it in. And he autographed his book. He put it, what's it about Betty Grable legs and everything. The Boy with Betty Grable legs. That's right. I don't know what happened to the book. It's misplaced. It's probably around somewhere. But anyway, Skippy, he had like a little guy with white hair, and he had such a personality about him. if he didn't know a movie, for example, he'd just say, well, I never saw this movie, tell me about it. But he was just so easygoing and everything. And
He was a doll. Everyone loved him.
Used to introduce, yeah, he did 6,000 interviews, and he used to introduce me as Karate Elvis when he used to get up and do my Elvis over there. It was a talent show, is what it was. Yeah.
Oh my golly, that's so. Oh my golly.
Apparently, Skippy. I mean, he was as a child, he was harassed and bullied, and you can see people thought he was different, but he was gay. But that can happen to anybody, whether you're gay or not. But later on in life, apparently, he was involved in various movies, and then he died to try to reinvent himself as a talk show host with that public access show. So that was really something. It was quite.
I remember when he produced comedy shows, and everybody loved him. He was just a lovable guy.
That's right.
Sweet guy.
Very down to earth. And actually, he also interviewed a lady by the name of Ruth Webb. I don't know if you heard of Ruth Webb, but
yes, I did hear of her.
Okay, Ruth Webb.
Wasn't she a talent agent?
Yeah, she was a talent agent. She represented hundreds of stars. She brought Mickey Rooney's career back. She said, Mickey Costas, your Costas, scrubbed his neck and back and took him from a down-and-on actor to a top show, Sugar Babes in Hollywood and everything.
Wow.
And she introduced him to his ninth and final wife, Jan Chamberlain. I met Ruth Webb that time when I did an Elvis party, a gig. Apparently, I didn't realize when I got the job that she lived at that house in Northridge. She was a very very interesting lady. Oh yeah, Ruth.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great because people don't really know people that you're talking about, but I do. It's so exciting. Yeah.
I thought you might have known some people because as experienced as you are and as talented as you are, and the amount of people that you have met. I mean, it's just amazing. So.
Yeah. Did you know the comic Maureen Murphy?
Maureen Murphy?
Australian? Yeah.
No.
Blonde hair, small.
No, I never met Maureen. No, I never.
She was one of the first female comics on the Johnny Carson show. And
really?
She's very sweet. Lived near me. We used to rescue dogs together. We had some unbelievable happenings with dog rescue. But she was good. And she was pretty big name comic. Well loved. She's passed now. They had a huge celebration of her life at the Comedy Store a couple of years ago.
It is very interesting. Oh yeah. Well, I love entertainment. I've always been fascinated by it, and and meeting people like yourself. So you apparently you've done a lot of things. I mean, apparently you were so smart. You didn't want to hire a therapist, so you became your own therapist. And
saving the money, so I just talked to myself.
Right, it's cheaper that way. Yeah. And besides, you can say you're a psychotherapist too. Apparently, you did a comedy tour on that too. That's what I read.
Oh yeah, I was. I was a therapist. I was a depressed therapist, so trying to help people. But I did a one-woman show that I wrote called My Psychotherapy Comeback Tour, and I played this well-known Beverly Hills therapist. I mean, well-known, who had a little break, a little psychotherapy, a little break, and she became homeless, and she just sort of landed in the theater, and starts doing a group therapy with the audience, and she explains everything about herself and about her different modalities that she created, and it's about an hour show. Wow. And I did it here at different theaters, and I did it in New York at the Howard Clurman Theater, and then I did it. It was a semi-finalist in a short play contest, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I'd like to do that again. I don't know what's going to happen now with this COVID.
Right, with the COVID. Well, yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I think a lot of people, a lot of shows, as you know, they're on Zoom right now because of what's gone on. With the mask now, but they do have vaccines coming out too, so that should help.
Yeah.
I think the show eventually, if things are going to come back to normal, it's going to take a while though. People are still going to have to wear their mask, and
Yes.
But you can't film anything out there right now, of course not. So that's what I figured this is a good place to do it.
I just did a film called Proof Sheet 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and they were very, very safe. They have a COVID person there at the desk with you sign something. You have to take the COVID test 2 days before you shoot and show that it's negative. You have to show on your phone or a piece of paper that it's negative. Everybody was wearing masks, and the talent had shields. And then when they did the scene, they took off the shield. And then they had boxed lunches, and you could sit apart. So they were just very conscientious, and I felt very, very safe there.
Well, that's important.
And they're shooting TV and film now. They are.
That's true. Oh yeah, it's difficult. So the things we took for granted, I know, even outside restaurants. I mean, like my Webbles and I used to go. We went to El Torito outside, but now you can't go.
Can't go. No, and there's no theater plays. There are no plays in the theater, and I guess I hear that some of the films are going to come to theater, but I feel so terrible because if the theaters have to take half the people they could take so they can space them out, I don't know if they'll make enough money to survive. So it's very.
I was lucky when I had my documentary. There was no pandemic because I had it at the Downtown Independent Movie Theater in 2016 and everything. And so
what documentary?
I have a documentary on Amazon. It's called about myself. It's called Gong But Not Forgotten, the original Johnny Blaze story on Amazon. You can check it out sometime if you'd like.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Former Gong Show winner, which I am, and Elvis impersonator, which I am, strives to host his own late night talk show. And
which you do.
And that's what I'm doing right now on Zoom. It gives me the opportunity, even though it's unfortunate with the pandemic and so many people have died from it, and so many people are hurt and out of work, it gives me this opportunity, which I normally wouldn't have, to do such a thing like this. So I get to reach out and I get to meet, wonderful, great people like yourself, very entertaining, very interesting, with a fantastic background. And it's a challenge and it's fun. I'm really enjoying it,
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's good to meet people and find out about them and what their beginnings were and aspirations and desires and where they are now. Very interesting.
Well, that's important. That's very important. Oh yeah. So now, as far as comedy, now how do you write your jokes? How do you become creative and write your jokes? And also, have you ever had any hecklers at all? How do you deal with hecklers?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not a real joke comic. I'm more of a story person. I tell stories, and there's funny stuff in there, but I'm not like butt up bum. That I don't do that.
I see.
So I really take the stories from my life and from my past and from my family, and mostly you tell what you know, and hopefully you'll tell it in a way that it is funny. And then what was the other thing? Telling jokes and
about heckling.
Oh, heckling, of course, heckling. When I first started, I would only say, tell what I wrote. I couldn't break out of that and talk to the audience. I was too nervous. And then finally, I broke out once and started to talk a little bit to the audience. Still had my act, but could open it up. And I really enjoyed that. And heckling, I just didn't give them the power. I would just say something and sort of finish them off. So I don't know what, unless somebody says something to me. And then I try to shut them up, but in a funny way, And sometimes I remember one place I was heckled in the beginning, and I was nervous. I didn't know what to do, so I just pretended they didn't say anything because I didn't know what to do. But then as you get seasoned, you know what to do. Just sort of.
Yeah, right. The better practice makes perfect, I guess. The more you got to fall down before you get yourself back up again, right? Oh, yeah. Have you ever had any embarrassing experiences at all? And all of your, whether it be acting, directing, producing, stand-up comedy, in any aspect of your entertainment experience, have you had any embarrassing experiences? I don't know if you can talk about it.
I can't remember embarrassing. I do remember Peter oh, I can't think of his last name. I'm so terrible at names. I hate it. Peter, whatever. He was a wonderful comic. Used to be a circus clown. And I forget where we were, but it was huge. The biggest venue I had ever been in. There were so many people. It was packed and huge. I just remember huge. And I was going on to open for him. And I remember he came, I was like nervous. And he came over to me and he whispered, "It's war out there. Get them before they get you." I thought, help.
Oh,
Oh,
that sounds
so
like a Humphrey Bogart type of character. Yeah.
but he was right. You got to get them before they get uncomfortable and attack you.
Right.
So it turned out okay, but I remember when he said that, I thought, I'm in a war. Oh my God, I didn't sign up for this. But it was okay. And yeah, it wasn't my best set, but it was okay.
Right.
And,
Well, comedians like to run other people down to boost themselves up. I'm trying to remember the name of it. There was a comedy club in Encino on Balboa. It's no longer there anymore. LA
It
Cabaret.
started with a C. Cabaret? The Cabaret?
That's it. LA
I
Cabaret.
know, I was there a lot.
You were.
I
Okay.
started there, yeah.
You did? You started LA Cabaret? Oh, that's interesting. Oh. When was that? Well, quite a
It
while
was a
ago.
long time ago. And I remember I became comfortable there. That's the place when I said I first broke out of just the set and I could talk. That was the place. I remember when I started, I used to go up so late, like nobody would be there. I would get the kitchen help. They didn't even know what I was saying. And I would make them come out and sit down so I had somebody. So, that was at the Cabaret.
Well, talking about the LA Cabaret, when I went there in the past, there was a comedian who was on a show that I was involved with when I did my Hawaii special over on the Gong Show, and her name was Pam Madison. She's no longer alive, but
Oh, she's a wonderful comic.
Pam Madison. Okay, so Pam Madison said to me, she called me a has-been. I should have said that's a compliment. That means I once was. I didn't think of it at the time, but anyway, I don't want to get into a whole ruckus with her. So I high-fived her and said, "You're right," and everything. I mean, I could have said something. I could have said it takes one to know one. She was with a used car salesperson, but I didn't want to get into that, see? Because if I show I'm upset, and she's going to use that.
Right, exactly.
So I just high-fived her and all that. But in retrospect, if I would have thought about it, I would have said, well, hey, that's a compliment. You know, I mean,
Right. At least I was somebody.
right. Because on that Hawaii special, that was so exciting. I mean, she did give me her leg at that time, and it was entertaining. If you ever see that show, there was hugging, kissing, screaming, lipstick on the face, cheering, applauding. I was doing Elvis, Blue Suede Shoes, and I felt like Elvis and the Beatles up there. It was really something.
I loved Elvis. You know, when I was young,
Yeah.
Elvis came to town, and I begged my mother that I could see Elvis. And she said no, because there might be a stampede or something. You know, people might go wild and you'll get hurt. And I never forgive her for that. I remember Don't Be Cruel was my favorite song. And I played it loud and kept playing it because she wouldn't let me go see him.
Yeah, right. Wow, that's interesting. Elvis was my favorite also. And I always wanted to meet him and see him in concert, but the concerts were always sold out. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to.
You know, oh my God. Who did the Tonight Show after Johnny? After Johnny.
Jay Leno took over after.
Yeah,
Johnny.
Jay did. He did an Elvis impersonator at the Comedy Store, and
Really?
yeah, and somebody else I can't think of them.
Kaufman did a great Elvis on Johnny Carson's show. One of the best Elvises. Andy Kaufman.
Really, I didn't see that.
Yeah, you can take a look at it on YouTube. You can see that. It was one of the better Elvis impersonators. In fact, Elvis knew about it. And he liked him. He thought he was one of the better impersonators. There's been so many impersonators. Like a guy by the name of Sean Clush. I saw him at the Old Protel Theater in North Hollywood on Handkerchief.
I know that theater.
He was fantastic. Oh, yeah. Sean Clutch. He's considered from Elvis Presley Enterprises to be one of the top Elvis tribute artists. Oh, yeah. I saw another time a guy by the name of Raymond Michael over in Calabasas. A friend of mine, she had a picnic. Her and her husband invited my friend and I over there. We had chicken and everything. We were relaxed. And all you had to do is put a donation, a tip, in the jar. And Raymond Michael was, phenomenal Elvis. Oh, yeah. So the producer I worked with on the Gong Show, he knew Elvis well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name was Chris Beard. I don't know if the name sounds familiar. Chris
No.
Beard is the one that wrote the '68 comeback, the comedy. Him and his, Alan Bly, and I think he had somebody else. They wrote the comedy for the '68 comeback, which was filmed at NBC. Elvis was in a circle and everything, and he was surrounded by his cronies, DJ Fontana and also Scotty Moore. And he was fooling around and everything, and he was doing all kinds of crazy things, and they were going wild. The audience was going wild. I mean, he did, If I Can Dream at the end. He did Memories. He did so many songs.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal. I mean, you can see that also. There was a video. I have a video. It's called One Night with You, and it shows all that and everything. But anyway, Chris Beard, when he saw me the first time on television, when I was excited and half nervous, he said, someone told me you're going to get gonged. I said, you are wrong. I'm going to win. And sure enough, I won. And he said, we know what you can do. Then when they called me back for the new show, his staff was rude. He said, if you don't like what I'm doing, I'm going to leave. I threatened to leave. He called me back at my house and he said, Johnny, you can do Teddy Bear, you do whatever you want. So that was phenomenal. So those were television specials, which you can see these shows also on my entertainment website, which is www.johnnyblaze.com.
Wow, that's incredible. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was really a wonderful singer, Elvis.
Oh, Elvis.
He was,
When he was, when he first was discovered, Sam Phillips, remember, at Sun Records said, if I can find a white man with a black sound, I can make millions. And they certainly found it in Elvis. They kept experimenting. They couldn't find the right song. And eventually he came up with That's All Right, Mama. And boy, that was a hit. It was a big hit. Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you ever do Don't Be Cruel?
What about Don't Be Cruel?
Did you ever sing Don't Be Cruel?
Oh yeah, I'm singing Don't Be Cruel. I've seen quite a few. I have, on my side, I have all kinds of Can't Help Falling in Love, It's Now or Never, Surrender, Are You Lonesome Tonight? There's a lot of
Are You Lonesome Tonight?
Love Me Tender. Oh yeah.
Yes.
If I Can Dream, I have that on there. I have Follow That Dream. I have a lot of songs. I have a total of about 91 videos on my entertainment site. Check it out sometime.
I'll have to, absolutely.
Check
He
it
was
out.
incredible. Oh my God, I was so shocked when he died.
This time now, like I say on television, when I went to Hollywood, the minute I arrived in the studio, Jimmy said to me, I know you. And when it was over, he said, it's a pleasure meeting a star of the future. I met Jimmy Kimmel when he was working on the Kevin and Bean show on the radio. He was Jimmy the sports guy. And he had him.
I remember him.
Yeah. He said, I'll promote you on the radio. And I called and I couldn't get a hold of him. He's forgotten all about me. All of a sudden, when I least expected, I got a call. We like your video from a casting guy. So what video? I didn't send you a video. We share Steve Harvey's office. I was submitting a video to Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's big time. Isn't that something? So Jimmy has quite a show. I mean, he's been doing, that was in 2003, that last time on television.
I love him. I just love him. I think he's great and he's a very good interviewer.
He is excellent. He's great with people. He's great. He smiles. He's real bubbly.
And he can get along with anybody. I just think he's the greatest.
Jimmy is a fantastic guy. Yes, he is. Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of great talk shows. Jimmy Fallon is another great talk show host. Then you've got, of course, Kimmel. There's in the past, there was Jay Leno, of course. There's Johnny Carson. And
nobody liked Johnny Carson. He was the best.
Johnny Carson. I've seen some of his, interviewing Elizabeth Taylor, and you name it, he's done it.
Yeah, he was wonderful with everybody. Wonderful.
He was very warm. But what I read a book about him called The King of Late Night, and he wasn't anything like offstage as he was his persona on television. Oh yeah, very warm.
Wasn't he very quiet off stage?
He drank a lot. I heard he did a lot of drinking, and he was married about 4 times. He can be kind of mean, I guess, when he became drunk. Oh yeah, he wasn't the same at all. But
wow.
he was the king of late night. He was spectacular. Of course, with Ed McMahon and all of his funny shticks that he did.
Yes.
Ronald Reagan that time, and he does that thing that Karnak the Magnificent.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there'll never be another Johnny Carson. He was phenomenal. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was the best, definitely.
Oh yeah, there was. There's other people like Jack Parr. There was Steve Allen a long time ago.
I remember.
Oh yeah, but I think basically in being a good talk show host, you need to be a good listener, care about people, be interested, ask them interesting questions, and you find out about people. That's, it's not just about the person, it's about the other person that you're talking to, you know.
Right.
That's great. So you love comedy, you like to make people smile. You like
I like the type of like when I'm writing like I'm writing this feature, I like the laugh cry. I like when it's got some things to cry about, but you also laugh. So it has to be heartfelt. It can't be shtick. So I can do shtick, but I like the very heartfelt better.
that's great.
Yeah, I really like that.
That is great. Now working with Seinfeld, that must have been fun. I mean, I know you did one episode. That must have been quite an experience.
Yeah, that was an experience. That was. I had a really cute part. I played his aunt, and it was in the beginning of when he was doing the show. So everyone wasn't quite melded together yet, and it was sort of there. He used to have some type of music, live music, in between the scenes that they could just play, so people would like it, So we would have like maybe someone with a guitar singing or something like that, and he was nice. My scenes were with him, and he was very, very nice. I had a really nice time. So I don't think I ever really had a bad. Did I have a bad time once?
Did you ever have? I mean, all these positive. Was there ever a time that was
There was a
really
time.
bad, embarrassing, or really bad that it just didn't work out? You tried your best, but it didn't quite work out so well.
I can't mention names, but
Okay.
I did a pilot, and I was the boss's assistant, and we had a great connection, and she was fabulous, the actress. Vanessa Redgrave's daughter, Jolie. Is it Jolie Richardson? I think so. But anyway, she was marvelous. You couldn't get better. And for some reason, they did the pilot over again with somebody else.
Oh.
So now I had a really wonderful part because we used to get together so much, and we had this wonderful business that really showed you about the character, and the director let us do whatever, and it was fabulous, just the best. I was having the best time. Now they get rid of her. I don't know why, because she was brilliant, and then they bring someone else in, and so every time that I would be, because I was in a lot of the scenes because I'm her assistant. So every time the actress would go, why is she here? I can do that. I don't need her in the scene. So after this happened through many scenes, I called my manager and I said, doesn't look good. So I said, I don't think it's going to happen. Then she doesn't like me in the scenes. What am I going to do? And I felt so, when you feel like you're getting inside yourself and littler, like you don't exist. That's what was happening. So finally, it was the last scene. And I said, I was coming from one direction and she was coming from another. And then we go fast down the hall together and I give her all these messages. So I saw her on the other side and I said, I'm going to beat your butt down that walkway. And she goes, what? I said, I told you I'm going to beat your butt. I'll be faster than you. I'll tell you right now, I'm racing your butt down there. So she goes, you think so? Now she engaged with me.
I see.
I said, yeah, I'm going to, meanwhile, I have bad knees. I don't know what I was going to do. Running was not what I was going to do. Anyway, so I said, okay, right before they said action, I went, okay, go. I'm going to beat you. And we both ran down. And right after that, she said, boy, I like you. And I thought, yes. Oh, thank God, I'm still in.
All of a sudden, she changed.
Yes, from that. So then I stayed in, but boy, it was looking iffy. So
Wow. Well,
that was something. Yeah, that was. I thought, how can I save this? How can I save my life? So anyway, so that was that, and that was one of the things I will not forget. And I have to say it. It sounds ridiculous, but I would say my experiences. I'm very positive. And I love being on set and trying to see if there's anything else.
So
I worked with James Franco.
Pardon me?
I worked with James Franco on the Jimmy Dean story that Mark Rydell directed.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Tell me about that.
Well, I played his agent, and him coming in trying to get an agent, and that was a nice scene. And Mark Rydell's great. So do you know him? He directed The Rose on Golden Pond.
Oh, really?
He directed. He's huge, huge, huge,
On
and
Golden
a wonderful guy. He loves actors.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm a member of the Actors Studio, and I'm on the audition committee.
Oh, you are.
We haven't been meeting in the theater because we can't because of COVID, but we do on Zoom and do short plays on Zoom. But I know Mark from the Actors Studio. He and Marty Landau ran it for a long time, and he is so positive and so wonderful with actors. It's so great to do a project with a director who loves actors. It's the best. It's like a dream come true.
That's fantastic. Well, I can see you love what you're doing. I can see your passion. I saw some of your reels. Some of them, I think one of them, I don't know what the name of the film was, but you were saying you were gonna kill somebody, and boy, had a gun, and you were.
Oh, it's Shameless. I recurred on Shameless. I had a great time on Shameless. I went to Chicago, and and I had to hold a shotgun, and I never have. So I found out a friend of mine has a shotgun before I went to Chicago. So I had him bring it over so that I would know how to handle it. You can't look like you don't know what you're doing. So I really played with a little bit and rehearsed with it. So I got to Chicago. I knew what I was doing with the shotgun. Yeah, I loved that. It was Lip. With Shameless, the actor who plays Lip. And he's wonderful, just wonderful. I had a great time again. What can I tell you? So I can't help it. I can't help it. I love it.
Ellen Gerstein, you've had a great life. You've had a fantastic, spectacular, blazing hot, irresistible, unforgettable life. Yes, you have, and it continues. What's your project right now, and also any future projects that you have coming up?
I have a pilot that I'm just refining it, polishing it, and it's called Just South of Normal. And it is the same characters from the film Waiting for Ronald. Two fellows with disabilities conquer the world, and it's about their life and the people they know and live in an apartment house. And I love it. And so that's my pilot and then I'm writing the feature called Big Al, Hip Hop and Her. And it's about a career woman who's a therapist and has written a book, and her career's taking off, and talk shows and this and that. And then all of a sudden she gets a call that her mother passed away. And she has to go to Miami where her father is.
Really?
And she has all the aunts and this, that, and the other, which is very funny. And then she takes the dad to live with her just until they could find an assisted living. Because she lives alone. She's never been married. She's career driven. She was never close with her parents. So now her dad lands in her lap. That's what happens. And then she doesn't really know how to create family. And the dad befriends a street merchant who sells out of his van T-shirts, and he also raps. He's a rapper, a young guy. And the father, and he's called Hip Hop, and Hip Hop get a tremendous bond, like father-son. And Hip Hop teaches them how to be a family, the woman, the father, and him. And it's really quite beautiful. Actually, it's adapted from my life, and so I really know who I'm writing about. Yeah. And it's really good. So I'm loving it, and I've had some wonderful feedback on it. I'm still refining it, and writing's rewriting.
Right.
But it's a wonderful.
So much chutzpah and passion is what you have. That's for sure. It's something. It's nothing forced. It's there. It's either there or it isn't. And it is there with you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Well, it's true. It's true. I'm not just saying it. I mean it.
Thank you.
And besides your smile and your personality, it's a little everything. If somebody wanted, let's say, your opinion as far as if someone wanted to do, make it in acting or producing or directing or writing or whatever, what is your suggestions for people who wanted to get into
Well,
it and be successful? Any advice for people? Or?
well, first of all, I want to say one thing, what success is. I think people get hung up on success. Success to me is doing what you want to do. A lot of people in this world are doing what they have to do
That's true.
and not what they love or wanted to do. So if you are doing what you really want to do, that's success. Money isn't everything.
I see.
It's not about how much you earn. It's doing what you want to do and what's in your heart and having that opportunity or making that opportunity. That's number one. Then I would say to them, how much do you care about money? Because you might not make any. So, right? But I would say, step one, you must take acting class. If you want to do this, it's a craft. You have to respect it, and you have to do it the best you can and keep refining it. So when you're ready from class, you have to make an acting reel that shows you just quick little things that you've done or that you will do and shoot to show what you can do. Because when you look for an agent or a manager, you can't tie their hands because they don't have what they need to represent you. They have to have a good reel, your good picture and resume, and those are the tools that they have. So you can't try to get somebody without having the tools that they can work with. So then you're in acting class, you do scenes, you audition. You have to keep auditioning because that's something else that you have to refine. Script analysis, really understanding every beat and color of the script you're reading or the scene you're doing and getting serious about, when I was in class, we didn't do anything but study for 2 years before we did our headshots. Nowadays, people come, they have a headshot already, they haven't even studied. So I would love people to really respect themselves and their craft. And when they're ready and they have something on a reel and get a good headshot and put together a resume, and now you can send it, of course, in an email mail it to them, to whoever, and then pick out some agents or managers, read about them, do research. Each person's different, and know how to talk to someone or how to type up a cover letter, a little introduction letter that's really personal and shows a little bit of your spark. And then you have to pick like a few, send it out, follow up, just confirming, did you get it? And keep doing it until you get somebody. Now, the other part of this, it's a business.
Right.
So if you can't take rejection, I don't believe it's very good for you unless you can learn to take rejection.
That's what I was going to ask you next. How does a person deal with it? Because it's going to be a lot of disappointment and rejection, of course.
You're right. And some people, because I've known a couple of friends who studied with me who are brilliant, but they cannot hassle with the business. They can't take rejection, and that's the end of them. So they did something else. Rejection. When I first started getting rejection, like from really big jobs or touring jobs, then how I dealt with it is I put myself in the fetal position in the hallway, and I had cookie crumbs all over me, and I just incoherently whined and sobbed. That was my first stupid rejection. And then you have to realize what you learn from it. You have to understand, if you're if you can also make a film, if you're a filmmaker, you're on the other side of the camera, and you can see why this one doesn't get it, or that one doesn't get it, or this one doesn't look right with this one. There's so much to it that the actor doesn't understand, but there's so much to the casting, and they just can't take it personally and learn whatever they can learn from it. So if you can do that, then go ahead and do it, a commitment 100%, not 99, 100%. And be out, put your work out there. There's YouTube, there's all these things, TikTok, whatever. Put yourself out there. Start writing. If you don't write, team up with someone who writes little bits and put it out there. Years ago when I was acting, you couldn't do that. You absolutely had to wait till an agent or manager sent you out on something. That was it. And later on, you learned that you can do. Now, it's an open door. You should feel lucky and start making little videos, whatever it is, and put it out there.
I see. Okay. That's good advice. Good sound advice from a seasoned, professional, experienced, successful entertainer. I mean, whether it be actress or producer or director.
And sometimes you're still going to be in a fetal position in the hallway with cookie crumbs. Sometimes that still happens. So, right.
So, when you really handled, that's the way you handled it, was cool. It was clever. That's for sure. Very resourceful and creative. That's fantastic. So, if people want to find out more about you,
I have a website, Gerstein, .com, and it says all about my writing, directing, acting, teaching, and coaching.
That's great. Of course, you have a manager and an agent, right?
I have a manager, I have a manager, and I don't think I need an agent because I love her, Shana Landsberg. I love her so much. I'm very lucky to have her.
That's a good name, Shana. That's the name of our poodle. My sister and I are poodle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, we love her. She gives such an unconditional love. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You like dogs? Because I love it. I love all animals. Yeah. But I have my little dog is asleep right behind us.
I call her Shana Mazik because she's always into good, but it's into good mischief. That's all. Oh, yeah. She doesn't ask me how tall I am or how rich I am. She just accepts me for just
right. Exactly. I love it.
No, it's true. No, I know you love animals because I did see from reading about you that you apparently growing up, you had quite a few animals.
Yeah, I just love animals. I'll always have an animal. I can't even think of having life without having an animal.
Well, they're really phenomenal. They're like human beings.
Totally.
They're just natural with so much love. I wish
Johnny, can I ask you, where are you from?
Where am I from? You mean originally? Well,
yeah.
Well, grew up in in Hollywood originally, and then I came to the Valley. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I went to different places. Lived in Panorama City, and then I'm in Northridge right now. Yeah.
Oh, so you get around, Mister.
Oh yeah, yes I do. Like the song "Get Around" the Beach Boys. That's right.
Right, exactly.
No, I just love. I love doing it. I love to see people smile. I love to talk to people and entertain them and find out what makes them tick. And I'm really enjoying this. I mean, it's unfortunate about the pandemic, yes. And then so many people that are out of work or, have died. And hopefully, I think the better times will come. Now the vaccines are coming, from Pfizer and from Moderna. We're still going to have to social distance with the mask.
Right.
Eventually, there'll be a time when things will get back to normal. It's going to take a while. But I am grateful in this time for this opportunity here on Zoom to be able to talk to so many very interesting, people like yourself, successful, interesting people. Each person has a different story.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes. I feel so blessed that I'm not homeless and that I have food in the refrigerator and that I pay my bills, because I feel so horrible for all the people that are in the position of not knowing how they're going to live, how they're going to pay for their mortgage or rent or whatever it is, their bills, their food, they have a family. And it's that I feel so horrible for them. So
I agree with you. The fact, we think people take things for granted, but if you're, every day you're above the earth is a blessing because you can be here today and gone tomorrow. And if you are able to, financially, you're able to survive, that's great. One thing money cannot buy is your health, that's for sure. It's a good friend of mine. She worked with me at a place a long time ago, Life Alert. Remember I've flown, I cannot get back up. They had emergency response. And, we used to hang out and everything, antique shops and things. She was a great person. And for Christmas, as a secret Santa, I ended up getting a midget. And she stuck up for me with the midget because instead of being grateful when I bought her a nice cosmetic kit, she was giving me an attitude. And her name was Irene. And I hadn't seen her in years. And all of a sudden, she friended me on Facebook. And well, then she was in better shape, but she had breast cancer, unfortunately. But so many years later, 20 years later, little I realized I'd see her the last time I'd see her would be at Big Boy Bob's in, Toluca Lake.
Yes, I know.
I treated her out for lunch and I gave her some carnations, but unfortunately she got pancreatic cancer and that was it eventually. Yeah, she was, like she said, it helps you if you have your health. All the money in the world can buy the best doctors, but can't buy your health back if your health's down.
Yeah.
And, everybody ends up in the same place. So my philosophy is live each day as if you're last. You never know your last going to come about. Go for your dreams and take your vacations. And that way you can say that you did it your way and you had a full as life as possible. So no regrets.
That's so true, isn't it?
Because, nobody takes anything with them, whether they're rich or poor. They just don't. So it's important to have a very well balanced life and try to exercise. Walking is good. That's always good to walk. My sister and I, we walk around. It's really good for your health. It adds years to your life and life to yours. You don't feel like you're hemmed up inside. So it's a good thing to do as a walk and see some good movies. It's a Wonderful Life. I just saw that. That's one of my
favorites. That's so great.
Stewart and Donna Reed. Oh, yeah. No one is a failure who has his friends, and an angel won his wings. Oh, yeah, that's phenomenal. Frank Capra. And Capra, what a filmmaker he was.
Right. Oh, my God.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, he did that also. And I think he did that. Cocoon was another one, I think.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah. I remember in college I had to do that. I had a TV film aesthetics class, and we had to do a term paper. I did it on Frank Capra.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I love film so much, so much, so much. It takes you away.
Yeah, films are great. They really are. They do take you to a different world. That's for sure.
Yes. You can learn so much with them. You just learn so much about people and relationships.
Oh, yeah, you do. Any favorite, there's all kinds of movies. There's science fiction, there's horror, there's comedy, there's drama, there's mysteries. Any particular favorites that you have, or do you like them all?
When we were talking about film, I was thinking of a film. It's French, and it's called not Untouchables. It's called Intouchables. Intouchables, and they made an American version. I didn't go to see it because I knew that it wasn't going to be like the French one was. Unbelievable. It was so fabulous. I think it's just, I recommend it to everyone. It's called Intouchables. Intouchable. Yeah. And oh my God, it's so good. And that film always comes to my mind when I'm talking film. It just, boom, I can see it. I like all sorts of film, and yeah, I like all sorts. That film stands out so much for me because the relationships and the characters and there's one scene in there, all the scenes are brilliant, but there's one scene where the caretaker to this fellow who is paraplegic in a wheelchair, it was the birthday and everyone was very proper standing around, and he starts dancing, turns up the music and dances, and then he gets the people to dance with him and stuff. And the beauty is that the director, and I can't think of the name, the director lets the scene unfold and be, instead of chopping it up like some do, they're afraid to let it go longer. He just let it go, and it was the most magnificent scene, and he trusted, and he had a tremendous film. Not many people have seen it, and I recommend it because it's brilliant.
Untouchable.
Intouchables.
Not untouchable. Yeah. Intouchable. You can't touch.
Yeah, you're right. Intouchables. So it's just fabulous. I love when a director, when a scene is working so well and they let it go and let it play out and don't chop it. I just love that.
Like the song, let it go, let it go.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Well, that's true.
That's such a great. There's the first romantic comedy that I can remember is called Made for Each Other. And Joe Bologna passed away, but Renee Taylor and Joe Bologna, it was their life. And it was, like I say, that laugh cry, very funny but real and touched your heart. It's called Made for Each Other. That was one of the best romantic comedies I've ever seen.
Wow. Well,
yeah, that was, I just thought it was brilliant.
Romeo and Juliet, love story. They were all great in the past. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great movies. Gone with the Wind was a classic.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So many wonderful films. It's and Cool Hand Luke, and Paul Newman is my favorite. I thought he made it look so easy. And he was so incredible. Not Cool Hand Luke. There's another one where Patricia O'Neill's there, and there's a scene in the kitchen with Paul Newman and Patricia O'Neill. Oh my God, brilliant. Why can't I think of the name of it? HUD. Did you ever see HUD?
I never saw it, but I'm sure it's great.
Oh my God. So I remember the Rocky Graziano story, Somebody Up There Likes Me. I read the book. I'm very into boxing because my dad had two girls, me and my sister. She's passed away, but we had two girls. And he always wanted a boy. Not that he didn't love us, but he was dying for a boy. He was like a macho guy. So he decided I would be his son. He would take me to all the boxing, all the fights. He introduced me when Ali was Cassius Clay and very young, starting out. He introduced me. He said he's going to be the champion. And I was among all the fighters, and I was there as a little kid, and he took me all the time. So boxing is a big deal in my life.
Well, then you probably love Rocky movies then, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. And so,
his wife, she'd say, you can't do it, Rocky. You'll wait, Brent, I can, and I will.
Well, Somebody Up There Likes Me. Do you remember years ago, Sal Mineo?
Sal Mineo was...
He's in it with Paul Newman. They're best friends.
Really?
And Paul plays Rocky Graziano. And oh my God, I fell in love with him. I had ridden my bike to the movies. I rode my bike home. I was so in love. And I got in the door and I said to my mother, I'm in love. And she said, you're in love? Who are you in love with? I said, Paul Newman. She goes, he's married. He'll divorce her. He'll marry me. I love him. Oh my God, he's so wonderful.
Quite the star that he is.
And On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando. Come on.
Oh yeah, Marlon Brando, another great one.
I could have been somebody,
Sal Mineo. Now I forgot the name of. There was a movie with him, I think, and Natalie Wood. I'm trying to think of the name.
I don't know. He was killed in his parking garage.
He was killed. I know that. Yeah.
And Splendor in the Grass with Natalie Wood and Warren Beatty. Oh my God.
What a movie. Natalie
oh my God.
Boy, was she dramatic. She had the breakdown and everything. Oh, it was phenomenal.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah. Natalie Wood's first picture was A Miracle on 34th Street. He takes the guy, he proves the world he's Santa Claus. Remember in that movie?
Yes.
That's her first movie.
Oh, I went to, hold on a second. Joey Pantoliano. Joey Pants, we call him. He's been in everything. Remember Risky Business? He was the pimp in Risky Business. Joey Pants. Anyway, I went to his first wedding, and Natalie was there with Robert Wagner and two little kids. And so sweet.
That was sad the way she died. I mean, she was afraid of the water. She never should have been in the water. She was with her husband, Robert Wagner, and he was drinking.
And Chris Walken. Well, they've never solved that one. I'm sure she didn't go in the water by herself. I'm positive.
There's no proof that he had something to do with it. I had a feeling he might have. They'll never be able to prove it because he was too drunk. And
they were fighting.
Right, they were fighting, exactly. So we'll never know. And the greats, I mean, Marilyn Monroe, I mean, she was, they died so young. Some of the greatest stars.
Yeah, there's such rumors around. She was killed. She was poisoned. She was this.
She might have been the Kennedys. She was wrapped up with them. Oh, yeah.
Right.
There's so many different things. James Dean, he died at a young age. Oh, yeah, he was only 24.
Yeah, that car, that Porsche she was driving or whatever car.
Yeah, remember that one?
He was young.
Rebel Without a Cause. Remember that?
Oh, killer. Love it.
Yeah. Well,
boy, those movies, they're so great.
Grease with John Travolta.
Yeah.
John. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, his wife just died. Kelly Preston. She just died.
I know. He's had a terrible, his son died. His wife died.
That's right.
She just had a baby, too. Well, I mean, a little, now, how old? I don't remember. She had a son, a couple of years old, that's all.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, a lot of tragedies, that's for sure. Elvis was young. He was only 42. Michael Jackson only lived a little older, 50. Yeah. Addicted to drugs. That's the problem. Yeah.
Well, Michael Jackson, I think, really, he was going to go on that tour. These are just my thoughts, that he couldn't sleep, and he had to sleep. So he had this thing that he does to go to sleep. And I believe that doctor who's supposed to be right there watching was in another room talking on the phone. And Michael Jackson was needed help. And he was, dying. But the doctor was on the phone in another room. And that was that.
Negligence on the part of the doctor. Doctor was happy to take the money, but negligence. Propofol, that's what it was. He was addicted to propofol. Yeah. And Elvis, he just said he did it to fall asleep, what he took, but he got addicted. And the last woman that was with him was Ginger Alden before.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, before a couple of months before he died, he didn't look too good and everything. He had his father, Vernon, was there, and he introduced his girlfriend, Ginger. And he looked way overweight, real bloated and everything. He just, nothing like he was when he started.
I know.
He had so many great movies, and the way he moved, and women found him sexy, and the looks and the whole thing.
Sometimes you have a lot of yes men around you. Sometimes this happens. So they don't help you really. They kiss your butt, and that's just, they want to stay around instead of being honest, saying, listen,
Well, Elvis's bodyguards now, they wrote the book, Elvis, What Happened, and they tried their best to help him. They wanted to see him like he was when he first started, when he was, killing him with his performance and everything. He was healthy. But Elvis got angry. He ended up, he ended up firing them.
Right.
Because, the father had to do the dirty work and everything. He said, we have families and everything, and they were angry. And he says, those were great friends of mine. They turned on me. They were trying to help him, but it was too late. In other words,
too late.
If they constantly have the money and power, how can you protect someone like that from themselves? You can't, whether it be Michael or Elvis. A lot of great stars with the drugs. That's what brought them down.
What happened to Prince? I loved Prince.
It's another one that got an overdose on drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But these people, sometimes they can't sleep, so they take stuff to sleep.
Yeah, fentanyl, I think, is what it was. Yeah. It's a killer.
Prince, oh my God, how talented was Prince? He could not just sing and write, but played that guitar like unbelievable. I liked him. I remember he did a huge concert. I don't remember, was it, what do you call it, halftime or whatever, and it was raining really hard. He went right out there and did a show that was incredible.
From a Rose Bowl, possibly from a Rose Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Phenomenal. Oh, yeah. These people are so talented. They're talented, and people find them exciting, and they're very commercial, but unfortunately, they get addicted to the wrong things. The drugs brings them down. Whitney Houston's another one wrapped up with the drugs.
Oh, my God.
It was great. There's so many of them. Oh, yeah, one after another. You can tell them.
Whitney, and then Whitney's daughter. I mean, geez. Oh, yeah. Such stuff.
Brianna's still around. Dionne Warwick is still around. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so many great ones that are not around anymore because of drugs. Janis Joplin, there was...
Jimi Hendrix. Do you see Jimmy right behind me?
Jimmy Belushi, Jim Belushi. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see Jimi Hendrix behind me?
Yeah, I see that. I see that. Yeah, I see it. Oh, yeah.
I just watched the Belushi documentary last night.
Well, you did. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Right. So many stories. There's so many stories that there is, one after another.
Drugs is the killer.
Yeah, that it is. Yeah, yeah. What can I say? They're geniuses and they're performing, but in entertainment. But when it comes to their health, they allow these demons,
Yeah.
addictions, to get the best of them, and well, they just keep doing it more and more and more. Then they can't get unaddicted, and the doctors that give it to them, well, what can you say?
Yeah.
Nobody can help them. You got to be able. It's like when I used to go to Weight Watchers. I remember the meeting. What did the lady say? My lecturer. She says, "If it's meant to be, it's up to me. It's up to the person. It really is." You can only help someone so much, but they got to be willing to help themselves.
Yes, that's true. But it's hard when you're such a hard worker and doing so much out there on stage,
Right.
and you have to go to sleep. You have to have sleep. I understand that.
Yeah, of course.
And they'll do whatever just to not to get high so much, but to get that sleep they need so they can perform.
Well, but they have to do it in the right way. If they do it with the drugs, it's just going to get worse and worse. It's not going to get better. They have to do it in such a way that it doesn't harm them. And that's the problem. They're so strifed up with this pressure, and eventually they got to get it. Eventually they got to get it more and more. They keep spending more money, and then it just kills them. That's correct. So it's bad. It's sad. It is sad. But we'll never forget these people. We'll never forget them.
Never.
Unforgettable.
I have Janis Joplin on the other wall and Jimi Hendrix on that wall.
Oh, that was another one, Janis Joplin.
And then, did you ever see the movie The Wrestler?
I heard of
Mickey Rourke.
Oh yeah, Mickey Rourke. That was another great one.
The movie The Wrestler. He was so brilliant. Oh my God, he was so brilliant. I have that poster on the other wall.
Yeah, quite a few posters. Very interesting. A museum, it looks like, of entertainers in the back.
And then I have my dogs on the other wall all over. I've got different dog pictures, beautiful photographs of them.
What kind of dogs do you have?
Right now I have, you want to meet her?
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back on this chair. Okay, come on. This is Frankie.
Frankie? It looks like is that a bull?
Looks like a pug.
It's a pug dog. It's a pug dog.
She looks like she's almost a pug. She's a pug. I had her DNA done.
Really?
See her little tooth? She's Frankie the Tooth.
That is so cute. That's what she used to have. My singing teacher is no longer alive, unfortunately. She used to have pugs. Yeah. When I used to go to her house, she used to have several pugs.
I had her DNA done. She's a pug Pekingese Chihuahua.
Wow.
So all in one.
A triple threat there, all in one there. No, that's great. That's a boy?
No, it's a girl.
Oh, it is a girl. Okay. Frankie? Her name is Frankie? Okay.
Frankie the Tooth. She has a little tooth that sticks out.
So it's three things. What were they again? It's a pug?
Pekingese, a pug, Pekingese, Chihuahua.
Well, pug, Pekingese, and Chihuahua. Wow, what a great book.
Whoa! Somebody put her outside their car and kept driving, and a woman saw her. She was so skinny, and she had just had babies. And a woman saw her and picked her up and took her to this other lady's house. And then my friend sent me a picture of her face with her little tooth like this. And I went and got her. I said, "This is my dog." I just connected with that picture.
Oh,
and
wow.
she was so skinny and tiny. And I told her she was a princess. And she looks great now. She's the best. She's so easy. She's so wonderful.
That's fantastic. Oh, I'm glad she found the right home. That's for sure. The right owner.
She did. I usually have two dogs, but right now I have Frankie, and that's enough.
I see. Well, that's fine. The two. She gives you love, and you give her love back, and you take
Absolutely. She gets whatever she wants.
That's fantastic. That is. Yeah. Yeah. Same with our poodle too. Oh yeah, we love it. My sister and I. Oh yeah.
How was your Christmas?
Great. Yours?
Well, right before Christmas, I was getting depressed, and so I don't have any family, so it's me and Frankie.
You have
So
no.
I was just getting depressed because of the holiday.
Oh,
So I said, and I don't really get depressed very much. I'm pretty positive. So I said, I'm not going to stay like this. And so I went over to, there's a place on Melrose. Is it Melrose or Beverly? No, it's Beverly Boulevard, called Rolling Greens. And they have all sorts of wreaths and plants. So I bought poinsettias, a couple of wreaths. I bought a huge candle and a thing for the table. And I bought a couple of other plants with little berries. And what else? I bought something else. And I cheered up immediately. Oh, big pine cones with red sparkles on them.
wow.
And I put them out on the porch in a beautiful wooden tray. And guess what? I felt terrible. I felt wonderful afterwards. It picked me right up. So, so that's what I did. And I had such a great time. I don't mind being home, not going out. That's fine with me because I write. And
So you have no family? What? You don't have any? Well, so you lost your sister. What about your mother and father? No, mother and father? No. Oh, sorry about
that's
that.
all right. So
Yeah, my
I have
parents
good,
have lost too. Yeah. Oh,
I have
yeah.
good friends. I have really good friends, and they're
That's,
like my family.
that's very important. Friends are hard to find good friends than it is sincere friends. Oh, there's some people who act like they're friends and they're really not. So very hard to find. Oh yeah.
Yep. I'm lucky. I have wonderful friends.
It's like the song, in good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. Dionne Warwick,
Yes. I love her.
That's what friends are for. That time when I did a show for Garden Hill Park for children, it was called Johnny Blaze from Mars Show. I did that song. Yeah, that's on the site too, of course. And it was a charity show, is what it was. It was music and magic and give away prizes to kids, and it was a fun thing to do. And then a show that time for Shriners Hospital too, which was also similar music and magic and games and prizes, and you know, but it was supposed to showcase me for being like a modern day Mr. Rogers, Captain Camera, but there's no need for that anymore. So, but it was still fun. I'm glad that I did it. You know,
I think it's a
I still have no
stronger
regrets.
need. I think it's a stronger need than ever for people that can do for other people, whether it's in doing something for them or giving them something or getting them something or taking them somewhere. Whoever needs, it's always a time to help people that have any need, but this is really a strong time for that, for people. And I think it makes people feel good when they can do something for someone else. And I think people need to do now.
Well, that's good. And yeah, I notice a lot of people they're doing charity work, or they're trying to raise money, or they're trying to do something to help people. Maybe they make masks, or they deliver food to people that don't have it. It means
Right.
that's
Or pay a bill for somebody,
yeah.
or pay a bill for somebody, or take someone to the grocery store, or give them like a paid credit thing for the grocery store or something. This is definitely the time to not only think about it, but to do it, to be a doer.
Well, it's a good feeling when you can give to people. It really is. And what you get back, it's not so much, you don't think about what you're getting back. You just do that from your heart because you want to do it. The goodness comes back because you're sending out positive karma.
Right.
That's what goes around usually comes around. That's true.
I believe that, Johnny. I believe that.
You want to
And
send out good positive karma and
yeah,
vibrations to people. Don't have any regrets. Enjoy, love what you're doing, and I think good things will come about then.
I
You are
don't
very
mind. Huh?
Ellen, I just want to say you are very, very interesting, and I'm really happy that I've had this opportunity to have you on my show. It is an honor and privilege to have met you
Oh,
and to talk to you as I'm talking to different people.
thank you
And
so much, Johnny. And it was a pleasure and an honor for me. You're a heck of a guy, and I'm so thrilled that you wanted to do this with me.
thank you. Well, that's wonderful. That really is. So just keep smiling. Keep
You
on
too.
doing. Thank my special guest, Ellen Gerstein, very much. Keep the smile. Keep that aura.
I will.
Keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is working. And
Thank you, Johnny.
it'd
Thank
be
you so much.
a better world with more people like yourself, Ellen. So I want to say to all my friends, I want to say, always keep a smile on your face and a song in your heart.
Mm.
Till next time, happy trails.
Bye.
And Maureen's out.
Bye.
Ellen. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Blaze has just left the building.